You have the floor.
Yeah, we'll talk more about like future after, but here's your 30-minute rant. I'll sit back and
Let me
just
take the fucking hat off. So I'm gonna make this openly fucking clear. There are 6 things that are wrong with this fucking program right now. Number 1 is that fucking terrorist of a defensive coordinator named Chris Ash leading our defense. You in one season, one off season, Chris Ash, have taken one of the best defenses in the country. Yeah, we lost Jack Kaiser, we lost Xavier Watts, we lost a lot of people in the middle. But Texas A&M is not Florida or not Miami when it comes to O-line. We should have gotten more pressure at 4 than what we did. But when you send the same thing, you don't send any blitzes, you don't trip them at all, you're an idiot. I don't know why. I defended Chris Ash hire. You can ask Ryan about it. I defended the hell out of it. I said, you know what? He looked like he was a good DC at Ohio State. He looked like he didn't fuck anything up. And now we're hearing that players don't like what he did? Are you shitting me? It took one offseason. It took 6 months, and you fucked this up. Chris Ash should be fired. He should not be our defensive coordinator. If we want to be a serious football team, he should not be our defensive coordinator. Number 2, Marcus Freeman. What the hell? This press conference you give is so fucking stupid the whole time. What's the one thing we hear Marcus Freeman say? Our job as coaches, he said that it's not about him. It's about putting these players in the correct situation to show their talents. You're not showing talents when you do shit like this. When you're going away from our bread and butter that these kids have been taught for the past 3 years by Al Golden to play, or 2 years of Al Golden to play. You're going away from that. You are not showing your talent. That is horse shit, and I think he fucking knows it. You gotta grow some fucking balls and say, you know what? The play calling's the problem. We can blame Christian Gray. We know Christian Gray. We know he's not going to be a guy who can lock down. It's probably because he gets a lot more targets than most corners, because he has Leonard Moore, the best corner in the country, on the other side, which I fully understand that. I fully understand why if we want to blame Christian Gray, but realistically, Christian Gray gets a lot more targets than most corners in this situation. But you're not putting your team in the best situation. It's a fucking joke. I don't want to call him a joke because he's a good coach. He's a good man. He changed a lot of things about this program. I think he's really scared of becoming the next Brian Kelly. He's scared because all we did was bitch about, Brian Kelly blamed everybody else. He blamed players, he blamed coaches, he never took blame for himself. The one time Brian Kelly takes blame for himself, it's always something little. There's nothing wrong with pointing out the obvious. If you even have to just go out there and be like, you know what, Chris Ash, we're taking it away. I'm going to call. I'd rather have Marcus Freeman call the freaking plays. Quit the CEO bullshit. Oko calls his plays and he's doing fine. What's the CEO bullshit? Like, CEO, fuck that. You're a fucking coach. You're the manager of your team. When the manager has people who don't show up, they step in and they work and they do better. That's how that should happen. Number 3, Tyler Buckner. I understand, I'm only got to put a little blame on this game on Tyler Buckner because it's not his fault Chris Ash is fucking idiot. It's not his fault. And realistically, though, you have one job. You know you're not going to be you know that you play quarterback this year very freaking low. Even if, God forbid, knock on wood, CJ Carr gets hurt. You're very low that you're going to play quarterback this year. You practice every day holding down that kick. How do you fuck it up in the biggest home game of the season? Realistically, at this point, biggest game of the season. Because this matters a lot with our playoff chances. And I know we have our coach, it's not about making the playoffs. It's not, we think it's more important to get these kids better. But we don't give a shit about putting them in a good situation to make them better. Are you fucking kidding me? That is some lousy shit. And until he actually takes puts blame where it should be distributed, because even the fans know it. The reporters know it. Reporters are trying to lead him into it, and he's upset about that. No, manage the team that you're putting together. They're not the problem in that situation. It's the play caller. And then, who was the other one I was going to yell at? Oh, yeah, Gino fucking Padula. So I don't know if you guys saw this. CJ Carr has tipping his plays. He's tipping running and passing plays. That's coaching Gino. How the fuck? And we've already seen Gino. He can't scout worth shit. It turns out he can't coach worth shit either. Why is he fucking here? Why is he here? And realistically, I could put blame on Denbrock, but Denbrock, he did exactly what we wanted him to do. We wanted him to open the playbook. We want him to go to Jeremiah Love. We want him to throw the ball more, go on deeper shots. He did all that. I'm not going to yell at Denbrock. There's nothing Denbrock. I don't think Denbrock did a single thing wrong. I don't like the 4th down direct snap to the running back. I see the vision there. I think it should have been more up the middle. I think it should have been Janarion Price, not Jeremiah Love, unless you're going to have Jeremiah Love leap over the O-lineman.
Yeah.
Number 5, I don't know what the fuck Jaden Grayhouse is doing, and he got to catch this game. But is it like, where are we using him to where he's not being used? Is it the play calling? Is it certain things aren't going his way? Like, I fully understand if it's like, yep, the play calling is not going his way. Like, he's not the hot route. And, like, when he is the hot route, plays just doesn't work out. That's fine. But even then, we hear that he's not blocking. He has a blocking problem. We heard that in the Miami game. Turns out we heard that in this game, too. There were times Jeremiah Love couldn't get out because Jaden Grayhouse didn't block his man correctly. And then number 6, how in the world, this is on the referees, how in the world do you call that a targeting when you know it's not? That in the rule book, it says if you hit the shoulders, that you have to hit in the head or neck area. Shoulders, not targeting. And then my other problem is it's not in the holding play. It's the one that led to the Christian Gray holding play on that same drive, where Christian Gray had a whole hand in his face mask, grabbing down and pulling down, and they do not call it, but they call the hold on Christian Gray because he can't see, he doesn't know what's happening, his arms are just out there. So yeah, it looks like a hold when that happens. I just don't understand what we're doing as a team. Unless we legit go out there and beat Purdue by 60, I'm willing to say I've lost full confidence in this team. I'm going to give my predictions, because we're going to talk about later, the playoff chances, all that different shit, where can we improve. I'll give my predictions on every prediction I give will give off the idea that we beat the shit out of Purdue. But if we have Purdue come into our house and we don't beat them by at least 20, I'm the fucking season is a joke. We blew it all up. Jeremiah Love and Janarion Price, I'm sorry for what Chris Ash and this coaching staff is currently doing to fumble this fucking season. And CJ Carr, I pray to God we never do this again. Because we're now at the point now where we have to worry, are we fucking it up for the future?
Yeah. I also want to point it out that you mentioned something with the CJ Carr tipping plays. I want to say that's even more, it's a negative, of course, but man, how impressive is it to put up 40 points against his SEC defense if we're tipping plays that they couldn't stop us.
Yeah,
but
that's
I want to say, too, that, people were saying that the team in the chat or on Twitter, I've seen a few people say the team, this is because they wanted Menchie. No, if you're a true competitor like all these guys are, you may have a preference, but once it's time to play, you don't care who's there. You're fighting to play for your life and for your team. And I don't think the team cares at all about that. I did want to mention that, too. That pissed me off when people said that. But good points, Ben. I mean, you dropped less F-bombs than I thought.
That was the PG version of what I'm going to say on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the PG version of what I said while watching the no huddle, no commercial at Texas A&M.
Ben is being very PG right now. I will say to the comments about the press conference, and then we'll kind of get to the future. I took it as, again, it's coach speak, and I agree with you. I think Freeman.
Fuck coach speak. We're 0-2.
I think Freeman
with some of the best offense we've had, vertically, in 10 years, and possibly the best defense we've had in 10 years. We're 0-2. Fuck coach speak, dude. You're 0-2.
No, I get that. But I'm saying, if you go back to when we lost to Marshall, when we lost to Stanford, when we lost to NIU, when we got blown out by Louisville, and you just go watch all of those post-game press conferences, they're all exactly like that. They're all like that. He's the same guy. And again, me personally, I have never been a fan of Freeman's post-game, right? But I will say I would rather have what he's doing now than having Brian Kelly every week that we lose blaming the players instead of taking responsibility. I think that's a good thing.
He blamed the players when he says
that was the first time he did that. Yeah.
But when you say that, you're on the biggest fucking stage. Next to the national championship, you're on the biggest stage you've been on in a while. You don't fucking say player execution. It's not player execution. It's coaching, dude.
Well, I think it's a mix of both.
Well, he tried saving it. He tried saving it in his Monday press conference when he's like, well, what I meant by execution It's what are we not doing as coaches to get them properly educated or something like that on
Yeah,
the defense
properly
to
in the
where,
right areas.
yeah. So he tried saving it on Monday,
I can tell you
but
what you're probably not doing. You didn't recruit players to play zone. You recruited players to be athletes and play press man. Like every player on this team is a press man guy. That's why Drake Bowen is so freaking good over the middle because he's gonna rip someone's fucking head off if they go over the middle. That's why Jalen Seed's such a good pass coverage guy because he's gonna be able to bat that ball down. Like,
yeah,
why is Drake Bowen going out in coverage and we're sending Leonard Moore on a corner blitz? We're putting our best defensive player on a corner blitz, and we're sending our possibly next to Bryce Young might have a better chance out there knocking that ball down than Drake Bowen. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Here's my final thing on the press conference. He talked about, I can't remember exactly what the question was, but it was aimed towards Ash again and the play calling duties, and it was something along the lines of, "Are you going forward due to the defensive struggles? Are you going to be more, what do you call it, active, more?"
He said he'll be active where needed.
I'll be more active where needed. You know what that kind of reminded me of? If we all remember the 2016 season, where the whole thing, I guess, was the team didn't gel or they didn't like Brian Kelly because he was never around. He never talked to the players. And so after the season, he's like, I'm going to make it a point to be more involved with the pro. Since when did Freeman take the CEO approach? Because my whole thing with him was he was not a CEO coach. He didn't run Notre Dame like a business like Brian Kelly did. He cared about his players.
I still think it's the same.
He's taking when I'm saying this when I said the CEO approach, I mean, but he's taking the approach of I'm putting these people in the correct situation. I shouldn't need to step in. But the problem is with that approach is that you get too soft on your coordinators. I don't think he's taking up the players. I still think they're doing like we'll see when Here Come the Irish come out. I believe they're still doing that weekly meeting. I was told in certain tweets and certain group chats it's still happening. So it wouldn't shock me if that's still happening and that he's still talking to these players. I'm more talking about he's taking the CEO approach of it's either you're fired or we're keeping you and you're going to suck at your job until we fire you. He should not be doing that. He should be taking the manager approach. Players or coaches are not doing their job correctly. I need to step in.
Yeah, I don't think he's taking the CEO approach, Ryan, like you're saying, BK. I don't think it's even close at all. He's a player's coach. He was pretending he was punting the ball for blocks so he wouldn't hit the head coach. He's very personable with all his players. He's not like a CEO. He's the head coach. He'll take responsibility. He's always done it. This is one of the first few times I've seen him blamed for execution. I'm going to be honest. I don't disagree with him. I just disagree that there's no blame on the coaching. I do think there's some execution because they don't know how to play zone because they've always played man, right? So a little bit of execution. But yes, I blame it mainly on the coordinators. But it's not like he's like, oh, like I'm going to black and white. Like with whenever people ask questions, I mean, he's just –
my thing is there were stories that came out his first year as head coach when he was stuck with Tommy Rees as his OC that Freeman didn't agree, and him and Tommy Rees butted heads a lot over the offense, right? And that was part of the reason why Tommy Rees ended up leaving. I feel like we haven't heard anything about Freeman having an issue with one of his coordinators since. And now, is that a good thing because it doesn't cause, your coaches to not be on the same page? Sure. But we saw it with Jared Parker in 2023 where Freeman never blamed Jared Parker for the offensive play calling, even if it was dog shit. And the plan was they were going to bring him back after that year at OC until he got the Troy job. And that scares me. I don't know how loyal he is to Chris Ash.
Do you think if Notre Dame finishes 9-3 or 10-2, we'll talk about the future. Do you think that Chris Ash, and yes or no, your opinion's your opinion and respect it, but okay, we did good enough. We're a ranked team. He had 1 year with the system. He deserves one more year to see if they really develop and learn this new system and can turn it into what he wants it to be.
Yeah.
My
If Notre
thing
Dame
is,
finishes 10-2 and 9-3, are you going to be, hey, I think Chris Ash, it's okay if he
This
comes
team-
back for one more year?
No.
if that happens, Chris Ash changed. He changed his play calling. This team is not going to finish 10-2 running zone. This team's not going to finish 9-3 running zone. I have a belief where I'm saying this team will finish 10-2 this year. I think we'll be able to run the table. In that situation, Marcus Freeman gets up and he's like, Chris Ash, you're doing one of two things. You're seeking unemployment or you're changing the play calling. I am tired of this shit.
How much of this is an overreaction to the fact that, and I don't think it's an overreaction, we're 0-2, doesn't matter, whatever, that if Penn State was playing these two games and we played Nevada and Villanova and then we had our games later, that developing through the season could have been a better choice?
We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. And you know what? I don't know if it was Ben or somebody else said it might be a
Chris
blessing.
Ash's dumbass. He fucking ran press man against fucking
Nevada. Knowing, I don't know if it was Ben or somebody else in the group chat, but somebody said it might be a blessing in disguise that we played who we played the first 2 weeks, because otherwise we may not have known how bad Chris Ash was until we played like it's an
better
actual
throughout the season. I think that
I don't know how you get better. You got worse. Sean. That's the thing.
I agree. I'm playing devil's advocate. Right?
No, your defense got worse.
I think you can get better by running the correct defense.
Yes.
And it's something where, like, realistically on our side, it seems so easy. It's going to take more effort than just telling Chris Ash, hey, stop running fucking zone, you dumb bitch. It's going to take a lot more of working it in practice, playbooks. It's going to take time. And this is the perfect fucking time to do it. You want to know why it's the perfect time to fucking do it? Because who we play this week?
Purdue.
Who do we play next week?
Boise or Arkansas.
Who do we play the week after that?
Boise State.
So we have, I'm not going to count Arkansas because I know I'm going to look like a fucking idiot if we lose to Arkansas. But Purdue and Boise State, two of them. Well, Boise State, oh, Maddox is such a good fucking court. Maddox fucking sucks. I could get someone from our group chat to hand it off to Ashton Gentine. They'd still make the playoffs. But, like, we have a span coming up here. Like, I think Purdue game, I think all we should do is run it. I don't think we should run zone once. Fuck running zone. I think any playbook that has zone in it, we should burn at the stake. And then any playbook, and then Arkansas, fully commit to it. See if it works. See if, hey, maybe if we run freaking man coverage, maybe a little bit work in zone, but don't
you think?
My thing is that my question for Ash would be, why are you so obsessed with running zone?
Because he wants us to be his defense. He knows that this team's good enough. And realistically, if this was ran through, if we gave another year to Chris Ash, if we said, fuck it, this year's just a fucking throwaway year, which it's not. We're not going to treat it like that. If this was a throwaway year, maybe next year's zone works. Zone's not a terrible defense to run, but it's just our players aren't ready for it. Our players, 6 months is not enough time to implement zone. It's like implementing the triangle offense. You don't figure that out in 6 months. You figure it out in 2 years. There's people who
think though that
which, by the way, I don't think he's going to be here. I thought regardless, unless Notre Dame won a national championship, which even then, because if you just look at Ash's history, he never stays anywhere longer than a season. I think his longest tenure was when he was a head coach at Rutgers, where he got fired, and the previous before that was 2 years at Arkansas. He doesn't stay anywhere for a long period of time. I think he was on a 1-year deal because they wanted to give Mickens some play calling experience, have somebody over top who had play calling experience to kind of, guide Mickens.
Should have just given it to Mickens.
Well, now, but realistically, I don't know how much worse our defense would be if you had Mickens calling plays.
Well, my question is with the Purdue game, is it that, like you said, yes, it's the time to run man, get ready for Arkansas Boise, but wouldn't this be the game to devil's advocate test the zone more?
No.
It's not working.
No.
There are things in the zone defense that we cannot run.
I agree. I'm playing devil's advocate. Right.
I swear to God.
Adon Schuler is not a zone defensive safety. He's not able to correct other people's. But Xavier Watts is. I will say this. I think this works perfectly with Xavier Watts. Xavier Watts is able to correct other people's mistakes. Adon Schuler is not fast enough to do that. He hasn't played enough football. At some point, he'll probably get to that point where mentally he's there on his own defense, but he hasn't played enough football to do it. And we don't have the linebackers for it. Drake Bowen is not a coverage linebacker. He's going to pop a fucking head off the top. He should be a pass rush linebacker or attacking linebacker. Not this bullshit of he needs to guard the tight end. Why is Jalen Steed not on the tight end on that play, on that final play?